Do I say anything?
Oh my God, we're just being normal.
Oh, jerking around.
Do you want to get your headphones? We'll nail
Crystal takes her shirt off. Stick around. Should we say it at the same time?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Jerkin Around.
A podcast with Teisha and Crystal.
Maybe we were meant to be on video. Okay, let's talk. Do we need to introduce Dana Wilson? No. Okay.
I feel like they need to know about Dana, though.
I think it's the mystery that's kind of fun.
Okay.
I do.
It is like the best.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Yes,
It's so funny.
I do. So, if we tag her and we show her a picture, we'll do a picture at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so this week we're just diving into Vanderpump. We're going to get behind, though, but it's still so good.
Oh, it's so good.
So, oh my gosh, the episode is so bad. Dana, it's so bad. So on Watch What Happens Live, did you watch What Happens Live?
No.
They count back the top, I tried to talk about this last week, but you were deer in headlights, but they count back the 5 worst moments on the show.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And we got to talk about number one. And number one, they counted backwards, but we're going to start and go the other way.
Yeah.
The top 2 were when Raquel was talking to Ariana at the bar about sex.
Well, it was so awkward. She kept bringing up about them having sex. Like, Ariana was, like, moving on, and she's like, so are you sexually attracted to him? And I don't know if it was the editing or, like, it was like a psychopath.
Oh, it was a psychopath. Like,
it was, like, gross.
She talks to her about, like, so how are you and Tom? Which she would know nothing about.
She's sleeping with her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And she's like, do you guys have sex a lot? Are you sexually attracted to him? Like, what?
Yeah, and she's like, it doesn't seem like you want to stay in this relationship. She's all, it took me 2 years I knew 2 years before I broke up that I was going to break up with them. She's like, you should get out. Kind of like encouraging her to get out. Oh, it was like painful to watch. Like Andy Cohen was like, it was hard to watch, and gosh knows what goes on there. But it was like so sad. So sad.
Oh, well, and then I felt like it was so relatable.
And when Ariana's crying, and he just doesn't care, it was like sickening. I love Ariana.
I felt like she was on something a little bit on that episode.
I think they all were.
Yeah, it was like she was weird when she was talking. Again, I don't know if it's the editing, but I was like, is she on something?
Did you see what he looked for? Ariana's like, this is so relatable. I felt so bad when Ariana was like, I just want to stay home and watch a show.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want to do shrooms.
I was like, oh my God.
I want to do shrooms and jump out of a plane with I was like, this is not real life.
No.
And I was like, you're doing shrooms with her? That's disgusting.
Well, like, that just shows the kind of stuff him and Raquel are doing.
Oh, gosh.
They're just like, it's all about like adrenaline and that high. It's not about like a true connection.
Oh, I was like sad because when you've been with that guy that wants to go out all the time and you want to stay home and watch a show, like you date to finally be able to stay home.
Yeah.
That's why I hate going out now.
Yeah.
I'm like, all those times I was out at the bar holding your head up,
When we go out, if Ben and I do go out, well, first we don't go out to like a club or anything, but when we go out with people, I barely even talk to them. I'm like talking to other people. It's like
Ben?
you don't, you're not connecting when you're out with people.
No,
you're
but
not
there's
like
the guy, like the ex that I talk about a lot on here, when he wanted to go to Hooters all the time, and I was all, okay.
What's wrong with Hooters?
Yeah, he's all,
kidding.
he said that, remember?
No,
the guy that wouldn't.
Talking about me.
The guy that wouldn't get gas. Oh, what's wrong with Hooters?
I worked at Hooters.
She did. What'd you do that thing where you, remember?
Oh yeah, when you used to send in when you send in an order, you used to have to say something. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, remember you'd have to like.
So you write on your ticket. It was before, this was in like 2003.
When she had the boobs. Now I could work at Hooters.
Now I couldn't work there. They'd be like, next. No, but you used to, like, everything was not electronic, so you used to have to like write your ticket, and then you'd have to send it on the line. There was like a big clothesline.
It was a song.
And you'd have to send it in. You have to say like a thing.
Jingle.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, she worked at Hooters. It's fine. But yeah, he wanted to go to Hooters after. And he wanted to go and stay out all night and me to be drunk. So I feel like that's why Ariana was doing drugs. Because she probably doesn't want to be fun. Remember, she's all, I'm going to get crazy tonight. It was sad.
Well, and then I really related to the part where she talked about how she didn't feel sexy. And she was like, my fat butt, my cellulite
to
arms.
Raquel.
Raquel. To the girl who's sleeping with her husband. It was awful. And then Raquel starts crying and is like, you're beautiful. I'm like, you're a sick person.
She is a sick person. But I do think that's so relatable. And I do think we did talk about sex last week.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a few people say like that really helped them have more of that. But I do think it's something, and that's what they talked about in church that one time was, it's so like, we make it so much different than it really is. Like
the guy doesn't care about cellulite.
No, a naked body is attractive to a guy all different forms. And like to a girl, when we're not feeling as good, we don't feel as sexy.
Yeah.
You know, even now that my boobs face the same way and not different directions, I feel sexier, you know?
Yeah.
But like when you have those things, it does affect your sex life. Like I told,
like after you have a baby, you don't want to have sex because you feel disgusting.
Yeah, and like after my surgery, I told my doctor, like, you've really helped up the sex life.
Yeah.
Because it feels like things are not in the way.
Well, I think that's why it's good to
my stomach was
make
in the way.
Healthy choices and work out. It just makes you feel better and more confident.
When I eat healthier and work out, I do feel sexier, even if the scale hasn't changed.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I related to Ariana. It was like so true. She's
I related to Raquel. Like, no. No one relates to Raquel.
No, but it's, okay. But going back though, Ariana's talking about her body issues. She also said something that was important, and I did relate to too. She said, but I also was like, you cannot have sex with. She's saying that her and Tom, and this is what we talked about when we talked about the Howie Mandel interview, that they had sex 4 times a year.
Yeah.
Dr. Laura says it's like clockwork. If you don't sleep with your husband, he will probably cheat. But does that mean you just? My mom always says he earns it in the morning. Like it doesn't mean you just sleep with them like a dirty whore.
Well, there's so many things.
I'm joking with the dirty whore.
There's so many things wrong with their relationship to start is they're playing house. So it's like things that there's a reason you get married and you enter into a commitment. So it's when, you know, maybe you aren't connecting and you aren't having sex. There's that commitment.
Yeah, you're right.
That makes you not cheat because you've entered into this and you've committed. So then you are more inclined to work through it. Whereas when you're just playing house,
you feel this neglect because he hasn't committed to you, even though she didn't want to get married. It's built on no foundation.
There's no foundation, and so it's kind of like you're just playing house, and now you're doing the like crappy part, like the non-fun.
Yeah.
Because it does get non-fun. Ben and I aren't like doing shrooms and hang gliding every day, you know?
That was just that 1 week.
Yeah. Just last week. It was a fun week. No,
I know. I've never done I wanted
shrooms.
to punch Kyle this week.
Yeah.
Oh, so bad.
When he was like, I just feel like you're annoyed by me, Ariana. I wanted to be like, oh my gosh.
Me too.
I like am annoyed every day with Ben.
Yeah. I was like, welcome to life. But
that's what I mean.
She said he goes out and doesn't come home. I think that is the most awful thing. If you're a girl that your husband is going out rather than coming home, I don't think that feels good. We've said that before. They might act like they're fine with it, but no girl is fine with it. So of course she's not going to sleep with him.
Yeah.
She didn't feel safe.
No, and she's hanging out with the other, like her friend or whatever, watching TV with him. It's like, I feel like they were just very separate, very...
Yeah. That's what he said on Howie Mandel.
Totally.
That did make more sense.
Right.
But I don't think it justifies his actions, but...
So break up. Don't live together, so it's easier to break up.
And he said the brand. So like if we, you know.
So if we ever get in a fight, we can't break up.
We're all podcasting.
Jerking around. Split screen. Oh, boy.
We've done that. We're not doing that again. We almost did last week. We had a big fight during the podcast.
Oh, Dana was all.
But we made up. It's okay. But moving on, I still want to talk about Vanderpump. The next thing was when
she was talking to Katie. Psycho.
Oh, and Raquel was so disrespectful to the mom.
But when she sat down, it's like her sandwich event. Get the hell out of here.
Oh, I know.
She sits down and purposely tries to pick a fight. That's where I feel like some of it's for television. Like,
no, but they all didn't know all this then.
But like Katie's literally sitting over there, like minding with her friends, minding her own business. Literally, no, I would have been like, "Get out of my sandwich event," and she was literally letting her be there.
I'm trying to get Lala nails.
I love Lala.
I don't look a thing like her, but I'm really trying.
No,
the nails. You know how she's always like. So I'm like,
yeah, she's kind of like mafia. She's like, "Listen here." You know, beat me out, Dana, beat me out.
Okay. But the funniest part was, so they're fighting, and Katie looks at Lala and says, do you hear this? She goes, it's like talking to buffoon.
Yeah.
Cut it off, or I forget what she says, and I loved it.
Oh, I love
Lala. It was sad to watch.
Lala, if you're listening, we won't be friends with
Lala,
you.
give him Lala. I'll give him all day. Look at my nails. I'm totally trying to have Lala nails. I don't know. It was really interesting, though.
I can't wait to watch the reunion.
I just don't know how you live. I think things are so exciting in a secret, but that's also like the devil. Sometimes the negative things give you more of a rush, but they don't mean that they're right. Just like when I eat cake, I get a rush, but it doesn't mean I'm supposed to eat cake. I think a lot of negative things give you a rush. Like when I went and bought my car, normally I make really smart decisions. I mean, for the most part, don't you think?
Yeah.
Like, I seem super laid back with money, but I'm also very planned with money. And it was like my first day off because church talked about how we should have a Sabbath. That's something I should work on. I have breaks throughout the week, but I don't really like not work one day.
Like have a day where she's not going to answer her phone.
Yeah, and our movers, they don't work on Sundays, and they're movers. Like, it's crazy. It's such a busy day for them. And they just believe in, like, keeping that day the Sabbath.
And Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, and how their businesses grow. So we've talked about it many times. So it was a whole series on that. I stopped working. I take Friday off because Friday was a better day. They said it doesn't have to be Sunday. I tell the whole team, nobody call me. Then I didn't know what to do with myself. So I went to breakfast in my car. My transmission was going that day. And I said, I'm going to go to the dealership and look. And then I bought the car. Like on the spur of the moment, paid over MSRP. Still just sits with me. Like if it was a logical choice, I wouldn't feel the guilt.
I think because you
But it was like emotional. Well, I was just all, yeah.
First of all, when Crystal makes decisions, I feel like you very much think about them and analyze them and pray about it and talk to everybody about it. You're not someone that just makes like a decision without talking to everybody.
50 people.
Yeah.
Well, the people closest to me.
That's what, yeah. Not like.
They said that at church once.
Not in a bad way. She likes to do what, yeah, like the follow the rules.
Mm-hmm. I'm really into the rules.
Yeah. So she always kind of mulls over decisions. And so I think that you didn't, because I didn't even talk to you until after. I think you were buying it. And you were like, I'm buying a car, I'll call you back.
It was so fun to just do it, but that doesn't mean it's the right thing.
Well,
just like sleeping with your friend's boyfriend. It might feel good.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it's the right thing.
Well, I think there's, like you talked about eating cake, there's like chemicals that are released when you do certain things that like give you that hit of dopamine. It's even in like a video game. It's
Instagram.
Yeah, it's very like
TikTok.
Yeah, it's very like instant dopamine rush. And I think you can get addicted to that and that's why it's so important to make your choices based off the values that you put in place.
Yeah, that's what the Crystal book was about.
Yeah.
That's one of my things with eating is because I have struggled with eating-ish problems.
Yeah.
Is when I went to counseling about it, and people have asked for the counselors' names. Like, it's been so great.
That is cool.
So when I went to counseling about my food issues, because I had to, it's not the easiest to talk about all these things, but we want to be as transparent as we can. But one of the things she told me was, I have the binging where like when I'm upset, I'll eat all the things like in a weird way, just like, but she said that rush, what it releases is equal to heroin.
Yeah.
It's crazy, you know, but doesn't mean that's the right thing.
Right.
Because then after the dopamine comes the low.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like this cycle. It's almost like.
Well, I think if you can get used to like not needing that in your life, you'll be like a healthier individual.
Just like the kids with the marshmallows, when they put the marshmallow and you wait.
Yeah.
Just like saving money. When Kyle and I were paying off our debt, it was the most boring. I remember I was like, this is so boring. Like I'd close on a house and I'd be all excited and then we'd just give it to his parents because his parents paid off our student loans with a home equity line so that we had no interest, and I would just give them all my money, and I was like, this is so boring. But those decisions like set us up for so much longer after that. But it would have been way more fun to just go spend the money.
Well, even like online shopping, I feel like I have an online shopping addiction a little bit. But
tell them what you do with the cart.
But I don't check out. So I like, when I'm like needing the little pick me up, you know, I like will online shop and I'll just add to cart. I'll go to all my, like I'll be on Free People, Revolve. I mean, these aren't like the cheapest stores.
No, that's where Sophia sends me, Revolve. It's so expensive.
It's so cute though. So I'll have like, you know, $800 in my cart and then I'll just leave it. And then it's funny because then like a few days goes by and then let's say I need the rush fades and then I need to rush again. Like I'm feeling either like I'm feeling anxious or I'm feeling like grouchy, and so or bored, and I'll just start and I'll go back and then my cart's there and I'm like, oh, I don't even want any of this anymore. Yeah. So then I'll delete and then add new to cart, you know? So I get to like rush without actually having to check out, and like, so I feel like there's no negative.
Yeah.
Because I don't have like the regret.
The things that people go to cope. Like the counselor, she told me instead of eating, like find other things to cope.
Like a healthier.
Yeah, and when I walk, that's like my best thing for cope. But sometimes you're not wanting to do the right thing, you want to do the wrong thing. But like if I am upset and I go walk, that gives me that same like calm.
Yeah.
But I even had where I was spinning. I haven't been online gambling since I lost a lot in Vegas.
The online gambling.
But I online gamble because it gives me that rush.
But it's like $1.99.
But Kyle acts like it's $500, and yet we had the biggest fight about online gambling, just like the fight we just had about the cleaner. I'm so mad about it.
Oh, you gotta tell him about it. It's so funny because the guy gets Taco Bell and a Thirst Buster every day, and you don't say a word.
I know.
And buying palm trees.
I told him.
I know.
I brought up the palm tree. I said, your palm tree, the one you want for the backyard, will be a whole year of cleaning.
Right.
Because he's like, so here's what happened. So we've talked about how my mother-in-law...
I'm kind of like Kyle, though. I feel like he's very worried about the things that involve him, but he doesn't ever have to clean the house. So to him, a cleaner's stupid. What you should do is make him clean the house.
He won't.
And then he'll be like, oh yeah, we need a cleaner.
He won't clean the house. He's never mopped once in his life. He's never done he's never vacuumed the kitchen. Like, he's never done one thing.
Yeah, Ben neither.
I know, but you have. It's not like you haven't, though. But it's not like you haven't.
No, I do it too.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
He's never, and like, he's very old school, and I support the old school. I love the old school,
yeah.
But I do work, and I think that's something, there was this one post that said why women 50 years ago could clean, cook, do all the things is they weren't working. So I do think there's this like hard stigma now, because I support the man being the man and the woman supporting the man and like taking care of him and treating him like the king, right? And we've talked about this. But now that I work too, and I pretend I don't, like we dance on, I think like a lot of people, I'm having a moment, but a lot of people even in my life, they don't realize how much work is a thing for me, because I play off like a really laid back persona, but like my team knows I'm not that laid back. Like I am not that laid. Like, do you think I'm that laid back?
No.
Like when it comes to work, I am not laid back.
No.
But only people close to me see that side. And so hardly anyone sees that side, but people always expect me to do all the things, and it's annoying. So Kyle is in trouble this week for the things.
Well, I also think when you don't work a 8 to 5 or a 9 to 6, people think that I'm not working. I'm like, oh, I work all day, every day. I'm just not clocked in with my kids.
Annoying.
It's like I'm actually working with my child with me, so it's even harder.
There's no distinction.
There's no distinction. Or if you see them at the coffee shop or at school volunteering, you're
dressed like homeless, because we're dressed like this a lot.
Right. They're like, oh, they must have all the time in the world. But it's just, so I do think that's
people say that
hard for a job that doesn't have set hours. You don't realize.
It's constant.
It's always up here. Like what happened last week. I couldn't get it out of my head. I was trying. But I'm always stressing. I'm always thinking about all the transactions, making sure everything's going good, even though I play off. But anyways, so I bring in a decent amount monthly. It's taken me a while to get here. Kyle and I both take a set income. I think that's why we've been able to manage so long, having our own businesses. Kyle takes the same paycheck he took when he left his dad's company. And like, no matter how much we make in a month, we both take the same paycheck. And I think a lot of our team does that.
Yeah,
I think it's a smart way to do real estate. I've done it the other way, where every paycheck I just spend. Or I'd rack up my credit card and then...
Well, the slower times aren't as stressful then.
Yes, because you like save for the slow months. And I have people I pay for, and I have expenses. So for me to break even in a month, it's not little, it's a lot. And so, but I don't complain about it. Like Kyle's always like, you know, I'm not complaining about it. I just pray about it. That's what I do when I'm stressed about anything. In my head, I'm like, okay, God, I hope I can pay the bills this month, please. Like, that's just what I do. Or I'll tell Teisha when I'm stressed about the credit card.
Yeah.
I'll be like, I'm really stressing, blah, blah. Anyways, but I don't complain to him about how much I work. So we have cleaners that we both use. Teisha's on a set. A lot of people in my life are on a set.
The set is amazing.
So Kyle is very like, he doesn't like paying for valet. He doesn't like paying for a guy to help us up with our bags. We've never hired movers, but I hire them for work all the time. Moving Team 6, best movers out there. But I'm carrying couches every time we've moved. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
So he gets really mad if it's someone that could, like if he could do it, he doesn't like paying for it.
Right, which is it's great masculine. Quality.
It's very masculine. So I get the cleaner yesterday.
There's a time and a place, like, get the cleaner. If your house is in shambles and it's stressful,
well,
then
I get in a bad mood when my house is in shambles.
Yeah, so does Ben.
So I'm grouchy. I feel out of control, and I haven't had the time or energy. We've been really, really busy with work, and I'm so thankful and blessed that we're in that position in this market. But when I get home, I'm running to games and this and that. I just don't have the energy to keep it up like I used to. So we finally had the cleaner come yesterday. You should see the lines in my couch. I'll show
She's
you.
a really good cleaner.
Really good. There's lines everywhere I look. There's lines. That's why I was like, guys,
I know, it almost makes me want to switch cleaners, but I love my cleaner.
I know.
I can't.
And she comes. So we have the same cleaner, but she just, it's hard for her to come because I'm not on a set plan. Yeah. So I probably get a cleaner every 6 weeks to 8 weeks, maybe longer. So I get it yesterday. The carpet lines give me a high. There's carpet lines on my couch. You know those lines. So I'm sitting on the couch for the first time in weeks, watching a show, just feeling like the queen of the world. He comes in and I said, hey, I'm going to set it up 2 weeks, every 2 weeks. And it's World War V. How am I going to pay for it? And we're not broke. Like, it's annoying.
Like, you can 100% afford a $200 cleaner every 2 weeks. It's like, what is he talking about?
And he's like, I hope you can pay for it. And I hate that. We're not doing my money, your money. It's annoying because we both have businesses. I'm still upset about it. I want to rage about it talking. But it's like, it wasn't to me about the cleaner.
You probably could write it off, though, as like, you're paying for
talk
houses.
About all that out loud.
I'm just saying.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I can write it off or not.
Yeah.
If this is going to help me take something off my plate, but I cook, I clean, I do all the kids stuff, I do all the laundry, I do a lot of the things. So I think he just doesn't realize how much I do. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm really mad about. I'm just mad that I felt disrespected. Like, you know, like if it's going to unstress me out, and it's worth $200, it should be worth $200. It could have been like, you know what, Crystal, you work really hard. If that's going to make it easier on you, whatever I can do.
See, and I'm the Kyle.
Oh, so mad.
I like when Ben will come home with like a new pair of tennis shoes and I'm like, oh, wow.
That's exactly what Kyle says. Is that new?
Yeah, I can't stand it.
And he's all
I don't know
at
why.
Travis Matthews. They have his face hung up in
like,
there.
Frequent customer.
Yeah, and yeah.
I know. See, I'm the Kyle, and I get so annoyed when Ben he like buys new hunting stuff. I'm like, oh, well, your other hunting stuff looks just fine to me, and like I don't know why.
You don't buy new clothes.
Yeah, like not unless I have to.
Yeah, well, that's a lie. I like hardly ever see you in the same thing.
No, I don't. I feel like I go in seasons, like new summer, fall, or like winter and summer.
I feel like that's a lot.
Yeah. It's about me. It's fine if I do it. It's not fine if he does it. Just like Kyle. He can buy 20 palm trees, but you can't get a cleaner.
The stupid palm trees. And the amount of money like that we're investing into our backyard right now, I'm like, I could go gallivant the rest of my life.
Yeah, I'm the same as Kyle, though.
Hang gliders all.
Yes! It's so annoying. So anyways, I was in a really bad mood about that, but I don't know if anyone else has a cleaner every 2 weeks. I'd love to know, but I'm so mad but I'm getting the cleaner.
That's the thing with Kyle. You just have to do it, and then because every time you kind of give in, I feel like it.
Is this an intervention?
I don't know. I love Kyle, so it's hard for me to say this because I love him so much.
I know, but I need to hear it.
I do feel like every time you give in, it makes the fight that much harder next time.
It was like Bahamas Part 2.
But like then the next time he's throwing his fight and he knows you're gonna give in. So
I wasn't giving in.
You can't.
I was like, I'm gonna get a hotel, but then I didn't want to spend the money on the hotel.
But and
I don't want to do that. But I was really mad. Sometimes
I'm not talking about Bahamas, but I'm talking about.
I wanted to feel heard.
That's what I mean. You just need to fight for the things that matter, and don't fight for the things that don't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think he's just stressing about the pool. I can't wait for that thing to be
See, he gets like me. When I'm spending money on a lot of stuff, then I feel like if we have like a big purchase, like when we bought our car, I felt like sick about it. And then I like
put the hammer down.
Any money after that, I'm like, well, we can't because now we have a big car payment. You know, like I just get whacked.
So I thought about a story last night. Maddie was sick yesterday morning. She came in and she's moaning and all this stuff. And I'm not the best. I'm not the most nurturing in that scenario. I'm like, you're okay. And then I hear in there, she's like, and I was like remembering in college when Teisha, because I'm like, maybe she has food poisoning. And then I was like, oh, remember when Teisha had food poisoning? I better go in there, you know? But I wanted you to tell the story.
Oh my gosh. So she lived up at NAU and then I would just go up and stay in her dorm for like weeks on end.
Yeah,
it was kind of weird.
Cause Hooters gave her a lot of time off.
Yeah, they did. I dropped out of college and moved to LA.
She was going to be famous.
I was going to go to Groundlings, the improv comedy school. And it didn't work out, but no. And so, I got derailed because when I moved there, I started working at Hooters. And then it's kind of hard to, when you start working at Hooters, it's kind of hard to, focus on other goals, let's just say.
And living in LA.
And so I only lived there a year. But so.
What a year it was.
I would come and visit Crystal up at NAU and I would just stay in her dorm for like weeks. It was so weird. So so in the morning I had gone to visit my grandma. She was in town. And she had like a cooler at her house, and she had like an old grilled cheese sandwich, and this sounds so disgusting. And I'm like, who eats this? That's not even me. I don't even like gross things. And
well,
so
now in college,
yeah, I was poor.
the grilled cheese looks pretty good.
So I was gonna go up to see Crystal at NAU, and I hadn't eaten anything, and I was like, oh, I'm hungry. She's like, oh, I have this grilled cheese from earlier. Like they had eaten out earlier, and she had taken the grilled cheese to go. And so I was like, oh, so I ate the grilled cheese. That's the only thing I can think of. Or we had dinner that night.
I don't think we ate.
No, but everyone else ate the dinner. No one else got sick.
Where'd we eat?
We went with Michelle and all them to that
teppanyaki?
To the teppanyaki place.
Or whatever it was, Sakura.
So we get up there.
She's wearing a corset, by the way.
We go to Sakura. We have dinner. I ate the grilled cheese earlier in the day. So
and we drank a lot.
We went out drinking.
So
I didn't drink that much, though.
Oh, I thought,
Yeah, so I had a few drinks. So we come home, and I'm like, and she's like, oh, I'm sleeping on the floor of the dorm, by the way, which I'm like, that's so rude. Like, let me sleep in the bed, you know?
That is weird. Why did you sleep on the floor? We had a mattress on the floor.
I don't remember. Oh, hold on. CJ's texting me. Let me just see.
Okay, so are we telling the story?
Okay, so I get up there.
It's funny for Dana. She don't tell
Dana. It's just for Dana.
Yeah.
So we go out. So we're like out, we're drinking, we're dancing. It was a great night. So we come back and we go to bed, and Crystal's like on the floor. Crystal sleeps naked. Do you still sleep naked?
No, I don't anymore.
She used to sleep naked in college. So
that sounds wrong, but
I'm laying there on the floor, and all of a sudden I'm all.
It was on a mattress,
and I feel like my stomach was like. And I'm like, oh gosh. So I like get up and I go to the bathroom, and I'm like Dumb and Dumber, like full diarrhea. I'm like, oh, you know? And so I was like, ugh. And then so I go, and then so I like come lay back down. You know, that's a whole thing. Your butt's burning. Like, it's a whole thing. It's not. It's like, yeah, that in itself is.
It's like closing back up.
Yeah, that in itself, you can't walk, as you're walking back to bed, you're like, oh my God, my butt is like the ring of fire. So I'm like, oh my God. So I come back and I lay down, and I'm like, oh, that was rough. And then I'm laying there, and then I was like, again, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's still stuff in there. So I run back and I am doing it again. You know, at this point, I feel like I've just given birth out of my butthole. Oh. It's horrible. So as I'm there, and I'm like, oh, I'm nausea, a wave of nausea comes over me, and I'm like, and this is the only time in my life I've ever gotten this, so I still like remember it. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna throw up. So I'm like, I'm going to the bathroom, and then I just have to get up and turn around and throw up where I just am diarrheaing. It's so disgusting. So thank God it didn't splash my face, you know? I'm now like,
I can like picture it.
So I'm now like, ooh, you know, and then I'm like, ooh. It's like, so as I'm doing that, I'm transferring back and forth. It comes to me. I'm like, where can I go that I can just let it out both ends? So I'm like, the shower. It's like a safe place, you know? So I get in
But by the way, tell them about our dorm showers.
Oh, how you share?
And we have all of our stuff on the floor, our toothbrushes. Yeah. Jen brushes her teeth in the shower.
Yeah, well, and we share it with like 4 people. Mm-hmm. It's like another room.
She didn't go to college there at the time, but it was the same.
It was like 2 rooms and 1 bathroom. It was like, in the sorority house.
Yeah, like there was a shower on one side, the toilet on the other, and then like a little vanity.
So I'm like literally in the bathroom. I'm like spraying the wall. The shower is so small.
Yeah.
And like I was just like, so then I'm like on the floor in the fetal position, you know, and I'm just like crying. So then I like get out. This is like goes on for like an hour. No, doesn't wake up. Just like nothing. And I'm like, so I get back in bed and I lay down and I'm like freezing and shaking. I'm like, maybe I'm gonna die. Maybe I need to go to the hospital, you know. And so I'm like crying, and she's like, like.
I thought she was drunk. I was like, oh yeah. In college, that's a normal night.
So
everybody's throwing up. I think it was a Thursday night.
And I'm like, oh my God, it's coming again. So I run back up, and I'm getting in the shower to release myself, and she's like. And she walks in, and she's like naked, and she's like this, and she like stumbles in, and she's like, what are you doing? And I'm really sick at being food poisoning. I can barely stand at this point because I let every liquid out of my body. And I'm like, I'm really sick. I gotta get in the showers. I'm diarrhea. I'm puking. And I'm crying. And she's all, what did I say? What did you say?
I said, all right, do you need to go to the hospital?
Yeah, she's like, do you need to go to the hospital? And I was all, I don't know. She's like, all right, let me know. And then goes back to bed. I'm like, oh my God. So it was the worst night of my life. Yeah, all right, let me know.
I'm not the best at
Oh
that.
no, this is what you said.
Oh, God.
Remember, you just shit yourself. Remember? Do you remember now? Yeah. I go, I'm shitting myself, and I gotta go in the shower, and I'm.
No, you shit your pants.
Yeah,
and before she got in the shower.
And I shit my pants.
No, because she turned once, and it came out while you were pooping.
Yeah, something happened, and she goes, "You just shit your pants," and she's naked, covering herself. You just shit your pants. I'm like, yeah, I got food poisoning, and I'm crying, and she's like, "You need to go to the hospital," and she's
I go,
like,
wait, you just shit
your pants?
Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like,
so rude.
and then I was like, well, let me know if you need to go to the hospital. And she's all, please, please. I'm all, drunken.
And I
thought she was drunk, you know?
No. And
she
then the
wasn't.
next morning, I was like, I probably needed an IV at the time, but yeah, it was that was the worst.
That was it. You just shit your pants. I was so mad about it. I'm like, you just because it was sitting there. It looked like your pants from last week.
Yeah, no, and you know what? It's so funny. Do you remember when I was telling Monica the story when we were driving in the car? So I was wearing I had borrowed my friend's.
No, that was when you pooped another time.
No.
Oh.
No, that was that time. And so I would have thrown the pants away, but I borrowed them from my friend. So I tied them up, and I kept them in a tied bag.
Yeah,
And so I went home to Phoenix like 2 days later. And so when I went home, and so I washed them like twice. And so literally 2 weeks later, we're in the car driving, me and Crystal, with a friend. And Crystal's like, tell her the story.
So she's telling the story. We told everybody this story.
Yeah, you shit your pants. And so we gotta beep out the word.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that
Monica's
one's that
in
bad.
the car who I
and I go, you shit your pants?
And she goes, that's so funny.
She goes, what pants were you wearing?
She goes, what pants were you wearing? I'm like, who asked that, first of all?
Yeah, who asks that?
And then Crystal is in the front seat. She's in the back seat, and I'm driving. And Crystal turns around and looks at her, and she goes, yeah, those are them. It was so funny.
I forgot about that.
Remember that?
I go, oh, yep, those are them. And Monica goes, she goes, don't worry, I washed them like 3 times. Wait, remember when she told our Bible study, this is before the boob job, it was like foreshadowing. When you told our Bible study, the Bible study we told that story of where she told off the Bible study. Remember when you told our Bible study that I was getting a boob job and I was scared they were going to judge me? So we're in the car. We were doing adoptive family.
Shopping,
with our Bible study. And they're the ones that felt their womb. And remember they were being real preachy. And then Teisha told them off. Now we're all friends. And we do everything together.
I haven't told them off yet.
Oh. So it was after they got mad about Janet Jackson's boob.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were like, how dare someone get a boob job? And maybe it was before because Teisha had told them that you got a boob job. But so we're in the car going to feed, and Teisha goes, you guys, Crystal has to tell you something. And I was like, no, I don't. She's like, don't be embarrassed. I'm all, no, I really don't. She's all, they're going to love you anyways. No one judges. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what are you talking about? She's getting a boob job and she's really worried you're going to judge them. And I'm like, no, I'm not. They're like, we're fine. I'm like, I'm not. They're like, we won't judge you. I'm like, no, I'm serious. He's like, she doesn't want to tell you. So then remember when we're at the movies? So then we're walking out of the movies in the big colossal theater. And she's like, remember when I told our Bible study that you were getting a boob job? And she's like, that was the funniest thing I've ever done. And I go, want to see the funniest thing I've ever done? And I stuck my foot out. She tripped her down.
Everyone's leaving the movies down the stairs.
And then she's like, it sounds abusive, but it's not.
I'm all, that
story didn't happen. Anyways, those were college was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you were drunk a lot, but it's fine.
No, I was not drunk.
Yeah, you were.
No.
The Hooters, oh yeah, doing whippets. I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
Okay, we were talking about Giggly Squad. I love Giggly Squad. So does Dana, aka Wilson.
I've never listened.
It's so good, and I love Paige DeSorbo. I'm obsessed with her. Summer House is my favorite show, as well as Southern Charm, and now Craig and Paige are together. It's my favorite couple. And I was talking about how I do love Paige, and how sometimes people's journeys are different. But what I don't love about Giggly Squad is that they're on this push of women don't need men. Don't let the man be the main character in your story. And I get what they're doing. It's well,
I think they're
don't identify as
single is what.
No, she's married.
Oh.
Hannah's married. And Paige, but I think sometimes when you're not in the right thing, you make it like it's the cool thing, right? Like, I don't think Paige wants to be with Craig, so I think they're on this, like, she does want to be with him, but I think that Craig is pretty famous too, so she gets a lot of attention for being Craig's girlfriend. So I think it's this like whole thing of like getting outside the shadow of the girlfriend, of like,
She wants her own.
yes, and like, so she hardly posts pictures of her and Craig, and she doesn't want the storyline to be her and Craig. So this season in Summer House, he barely comes. But I'm like, but when you're married, you are a story, like, that's your other half. It's supposed to be your other. There's no story without Kyle. How could I tell about the cleaning lady?
Yeah, exactly.
I would be nothing without Kyle, even though he drove me nuts yesterday. He's like my confidence. He's like my everything. I just think that's a little like, we don't need men to be our storyline. So they're on this big push, like, be your own person. You don't need a man. And I think when you're like, when I was single and I would make up weird things to be the cool thing because I felt so crappy about it, I think that's normal. Like, I can go out to the bar every night if I want, and I feel like crap. And then it's like, no, you really shouldn't. So I think sometimes misery loves company. Let's make it like the thing.
Yeah.
I just think that's weird.
I haven't listened to them. I need to listen.
Yeah, they're very like, it's like a slogan. Men, and I agree. Like,
I'm not a big feminist anyways, because I feel like we're so different and I love the differences.
Yeah.
So I don't want the same things as a man, because I feel like
I don't want
have
to carry all
advantages.
my luggage.
Well, yeah.
I don't.
I don't want
But they don't. That's funny. They won't
I
even
don't
carry
wanna
a
go-
suitcase up the stairs at Summer House. The men have to.
Yeah.
But like, I don't want to do the man things. I don't want to do the yard work.
Well, and I feel like
don't.
I get like special things from being a woman that like,
Tell us in the bedroom. You said you love that kinolix. What's that word?
What?
Do you know what it is?
What is that word?
The word of like oral. There's a word for it. Like
Cunnilingus?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Kinolix? Like kibbles and bits? What the heck?
Well, is this another thing?
I know. It's another weird.
She loves a good kinnilingus.
Cunnilingus? No.
You do. A man can get kinnilingus the same.
Oh my gosh. No, but I mean, like, I feel like there's advantages to being a girl.
Tell us
that
about some.
You lose. What are you talking about?
I don't know what's going on.
I don't either.
I think I'm tired and stressed out. And I'm getting like, you know what you get, like delirious? Oh, but go ahead. Tell us the benefits. I'm serious.
I
Breastfeeding.
can't think of one right now. No.
No, I
do
agree.
think
I so agree. I'm just acting silly.
Yeah, I think there's advantages to being a woman and in certain ways.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
I don't want to like lose those.
Like the kids with a mom, they're different than with a dad for the most part.
Yeah.
Like my kids want their mommy. Like,
Like,
but like in a different way. Like it's like mom.
yeah.
Like I would call my mom and I would want to ask my mom something and not my dad because he said no to everything.
Yeah.
And I would tell
Just
guys,
it is so
hold on.
different, and I love the differences.
You're taking. I'm trying to tell a story here. You wanted me to
Well,
sum
you're
it
like,
up.
like, it's like get it out with the mommy. It's like cat got your tongue. I don't know. There's something in your throat, frog in your throat. I don't know.
I'm crying. No, it was. It always does it. Never does it during the
No,
day.
I've never heard you do that any other time besides.
Anyways, so I would tell my mom that Dad, can I talk to Mom? No. What do you want? And I'd be like, Dad, I need to talk to Mom about something. What is it? And I'd be like, I got my period. I need to talk to Mom. It's bleeding. And he's like, oh God. And he'd give the phone to my mom. And I'd be like, can I go to Teisha? She's like, sure. And
Yeah.
it was like, I like those womanly things. I think women have like nurturing aspects.
I love the nurturing.
Yeah.
Or even
We
like,
can make a man feel like he can do anything.
yeah, I even feel like I can
Tell us.
get whatever I want.
Oh boy.
Like, it sounds really bad. I don't even think we should put this on there.
No, just be normal.
But I feel like you can just like,
I'm gonna get the cleaner.
I feel like, hi honey.
No, I think like certain jobs, I think women, honestly, even our job, like I think the way we do staging and everything, I don't think a man could sell a house as good as we can. And I do think even sometimes like in this industry, men kill deals more than women. That's just a statement, but they're so about winning for themselves because there's a pride. Whereas I'm I don't know why the voice thing happens, but when I'm negotiating, the best way to get your way in a negotiation is to let the other person feel like they're winning. Their guard goes down, and then you can get what you want. But I didn't have that attitude fighting with Kyle yesterday. I was like, But like when I'm negotiating in a transaction, I'm like, I hear you. That's valid. Here's what we can do so both sides win. And when it seems like both sides are winning, people will agree to what I want them to agree to.
Yeah.
But men sometimes are all about their win, that they
I need to open it.
that they don't like think about the big picture. They don't want to give on any way because they don't want to give. Yeah, the pride gets in the way.
Go sit up at the table, guys.
Okay.
They're like having a party and they're like, are they college kids? Like, this is the worst.
This is good parenting at its finest.
the worst.
Shower for them later.
Yeah. But do you know what I mean? Like sometimes their pride gets in the way of the negotiation.
Yeah.
But I also think like sometimes being a leader of a big organization, I do think it's good for a man because he's not emotional.
Yeah, women are more emotional. That's just a biological fact.
Like we feel bad for people. There's totally discrimination in our industry when a guy's
In
been
life,
doing it.
there for sure.
Totally.
Yeah.
But I just am strong back. I don't need him to justify because I'm a woman. I'm a good negotiator. I don't really care.
Well, I feel like you probably personally haven't experienced a whole lot of like
chauvinistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't. My dad's very respectful of my mom.
Right. Or so you weren't raised in that, or you didn't in work, you've been able to kind of break through those barriers where I feel like maybe someone who was raised in a home where
it was very man dominant. You're right.
Then they might have a different
feeling about it.
Yes.
Yeah, because I don't have any past traumas from it.
And your husband very much respects you.
I feel like a past trauma is what makes that more personal.
Totally.
Yes.
Or like if someone worked so hard to get some job and then it was given to a man when she was better qualified, that might...
Yeah, I haven't had that either.
Totally.
You're right. That's so true. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's why it doesn't bother me as much.
Because you haven't had to deal with it. Totally.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes we talk about this with parenting that like... And I always try to remember it, but I'm not the best at it. But you said that Rick Sharp, who we love, said that the boys on his team that did the best, because he's a very tough coach,
football coach,
were the ones that the wives let the men lead.
And the women were supportive of being hard on the boys.
Yeah, sometimes I'm not good at that. He could
always tell the boys that didn't have tough moms because they couldn't handle him. And so it was good for me. Because sometimes Ben is so hard on the boys.
Yeah, he's very hard on.
Sometimes I'm like, ooh.
I'm even going, ooh. Yeah. And you're like, listen to dad, and I'm all good for you. It's hard, though.
But I know that what's best for them, and then I'll have a conversation with them behind closed doors. Because I know what's best for them always is to see mom and dad on the same page.
Yeah, you're really good about that. I could improve. This week, I'm going to improve on that. And I did do my improvement on the last thing. We'll talk about it in a minute.
I'm so proud of you.
Shut up.
I'm just kidding. No, but I do think, and then I'll tell Ben, hey, like, this is maybe how I would approach it, but I do it behind closed doors. And, because, like, if boys especially know that their mom's going to bail them out or going to intervene, I feel like they take that and they run with it.
Broxton totally does that.
Like, Mom, Dad said I can't, and I'm like, no,
I know, Broxton does that too. I'm being better.
But as long as there's an underlying love, it's no son is in or daughter, whatever. No son, especially though, is in like it just makes them better to have a dad that's hard on them.
Yeah, I was really hard on my cheerleaders, and they're not worse off because of it. I think sometimes when you've always, and this is something, I'm really big on respect, and I like when people talk to me respectfully. And I get really upset when people talk to me disrespectfully, just like Kyle yesterday. But it's important to learn that people aren't going to always say things to you the nicest way, and you have to have a thick skin to deal with that. And my girls are very used to that. I've been very hard on my girls. My son just gets me. I don't know why. There's something.
I think there's a moms and sons thing.
Yes. And you have two. And I do think he's the one out. Like, Ken's the one out in your family. I think there's a little something to the one that doesn't have a buddy. Like for me, the girls have each other, and he's always. Ben
is whacked with Kennedy. She's all, I murdered. He's all, she's the best murderer.
Yeah, I think there's something about the one out. Like he doesn't have another boy, so I like try to be his like comrade, kind of. Where I like try to like, I see what you're saying, you know. But I also always want to be on the same team. But it's really hard. Parenting's hard. Like I was in the worst mood last night, and I didn't want to say goodnight to everybody, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to do this. And they're asking me about 50 things and going 50 places, and it's so hard to always know if we're doing the right thing. It's like, even when you have a newborn and they don't smile at you, you're like, are you liking this routine we're on? I feel like I'm in a cat phase. My kids are very in the self right now, or always. And I'm like really trying to like, hello, is this working? Is this, I mean, I think I can see things are working because they get good grades and this and that, but sometimes I want to make sure the character attributes.
It's being developed, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to know. It's just all hard.
Well, I mean, the school's not calling you with issues every day, so I feel like you're doing good, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like you'd know if there was like...
I know. It's just like, I want them to be good humans.
Yeah.
Like some of the kids in elementary school that got good grades and were goody two-shoes didn't go that far in life because they kind of had it easy, and like I've just never had anything easy.
Dumb. I tell my kids that. It sounds like a really bad parenting, but
No, I agree.
I am like, grades are dumb. I'm way more worried about your work ethic, your character, the way you treat people, your values, all that. Like, obviously, I think grades are kind of a marker for if you're being responsible.
Yeah, I agree.
But if they're trying and doing their best, if they don't get the best grades, I'm like, it doesn't matter as much.
Well, I got horrible grades, and I've been
You're
very
great,
successful
yeah.
without it. But there is, so I've danced with this too, because we always talk about it. I'm like, Teisha, it's fine. Look at me. I struggled in school.
Yeah.
You didn't, so it's hard to understand. Teisha's really smart. And I'm smart in like other ways.
Yeah.
Like it's different.
Well, that's the thing is the school system is made to like
cater one learning style.
In one learning style.
The fact that we're still doing worksheets is like, I could throw my pillow. And I am a previous educator. But like when kids are on iPads a lot and then they go to a school all day and they're still doing worksheets, it's so far behind. So my mom never really cared. But Broxton was getting like different grades last year, and I think you even did this pivot right now because we've talked about it. And he was getting like more B's and C's, and he's told me I can't get better grades. I can't get better grades, and I wanted him to change that mindset. Like you just have to do some things differently. So I started raising the bar and being like, okay, so you can get straight A's, and then if he gets a few B's, it's no big deal. Again, what I do though, like let's be on Watch What Happens Live, and even if we get down here,
shoot for the moon, land among the stars.
Yes, so I am like that, but now he gets like such different grades because I've changed the way like I see him. I'm like, you can do this. And I do think there's a persona in like making them believe in themselves, and student loans sucked. It was $60,000 I had when I graduated.
Oh, we paid a ton.
And I just wish I would have gotten straight A's as a high schooler, because then I could have gotten a scholarship and I wouldn't have had those loans to pay off.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that. I was like, I just had fun in school.
Yeah.
I didn't really care. But I was like, dang, I should have just tried. And the teachers do treat you different when you are like an AB student.
Right.
It's weird. Like, I was jerking around,
and
literally.
Jerking around.
School.
That's where it all started.
Yeah, I had a water bottle and I was going psst on all the boys.
Oh my.
You know those old water bottles?
No,
They had that lid on it that you'd pop up, and I had a big long one. Remember they had the big ones? And I was in class and I was all, you know what?
What grade was that?
Like 6th.
Oh.
And then they wrote a note home, and I woke my mom up when she was still sleeping.
Like, sign this.
Yeah, and I was all, Mom, it's my progress report, A's and B's. I had like D's and C's. But you know how they used to have the carbon?
Yeah.
So like the first piece was the original and the bottom was the part you brought back signed. I was pretty smart. So I took a piece of paper between the two and I changed the grades on the top. And then when she signed, I gave on the bottom. So if you take a C and you add a B to it, it's real easy.
Oh my gosh.
And a D, you just put a line in the middle and it makes it a B. So I like took it. I'm like, Mom, just sign. And she's half asleep. So she signed. And then I brought it in and she didn't know I had D's and C's. She thought I had all B's.
Oh my God.
But so I'd get a note home and I'd be like, Mom, just sign this. You know, she didn't know. My mom always went to bat for me. It was a blessing and a curse though, because I was naughty. We'd do this thing where we'd all tap our pencil under the desk, and our teacher only had one ear that could hear, and she'd be like, what is that? And we'd be all, do it over there, you know. It was naughty. And so my mom would stick up for me to the teacher, but really I wasn't acting right.
Yeah.
But I knew I could get my mom on board.
I
knew I could get my mom on board and be like, that teacher hates me. And then she'd be like, oh. But what happened was my mom would go fight those battles like that, and she was wrong. I love her for having my back. But then the teacher was just nasty to me because I was being nasty.
It didn't help you.
It would have almost been better if my mom was like, no, you act better. Because then I would have acted better in class, and then I wouldn't have been like, they wouldn't have hated me.
Yeah.
Some of them did peg me when I stole stickers from the treasure box.
No, remember when we sang in math? We didn't start the fire in our math class?
Yeah, we did.
And
like
she
fully,
did not like us.
Thomas Ernest. Like, do it how you do it. Come on, cunnilingus, do it. No, do it how you do it.
No, I'm not doing it right now.
Got a minute.
I still sing it on the party bus every once in a while.
Do it. Start it.
No, it sounds like a
thing I was working on was, remember last week, last week we ended on the fight. So we didn't get to talk about the thing we wanted to work on for the week. But the week before we talked about me not waiting for things to explode. Remember?
But I had to say something else about the grades. I read this statistic yesterday on Instagram, which means it's 100% true. No, but it was like, it said the amount of kids that are on ADHD medication and then the amount of boys that are on ADHD medication. And it said, and I'm not knocking anyone that puts their kid on it, but I do think that this was so true. It said, if there is a system where we need 60% of kids on ADHD medication, or 60% of boys are on ADHD medication, then maybe the system is broke.
What I just said. Giving them a black and white paper and a pencil that you're not really going to use in real life.
Well, since COVID, it's all online.
Sign my name. That's the only time I ever write anything.
Yeah.
It is so outdated from what these kids need. They need energy. They need active. They're being stimulated, overstimulated at home. So to go backtrack, that of course their brain's going. Because it's like black and white and a paper and pencil. It's so outdated from where we should be. Everything should be like learning or like IT.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's just where everything's going.
Yeah. I feel like,
As a formal special ed teacher, I have a little bit to speak on. Once you start the medications, it's very hard to get off because you are messing with the chemicals in the brain. Yeah. And I would tell my parents, make sure they're getting no sugar in their diet. That can affect how stimulated they are so much.
Yeah.
The diet, changing the diet.
Processed foods.
Even we park and walk up for school and we walk a little bit. I intentionally do that too because they took away the morning recess, which is, kids need to get some energy out before they sit in a seat all day.
Especially boys. Boys are made different than girls. That's like the school system is made for girls to sit.
But my girl, I'm not a sitter.
No, but I'm saying in general, boys are more hyperactive than girls. If you work out
in the morning, if your kid in high school works out in the morning, doesn't have sugar, he's going to have better attention. But once you go to the pill, you can't fix the natural things anymore because you're still giving Pop-Tarts for breakfast. You're still not working out. You're not fixing the problem. Just like pills.
And the
anxiety pills.
Yeah.
You're not fixing the thing that's giving you the anxiety. You're going to have to keep upping that dosage until you fix the root.
Yeah.
So I am pro-counseling. Fix the root.
Well, and it said those medications mess with suicidal thoughts. They mess with so many things.
When I was on that stuff.
But I feel like a lot of times it's maybe it could be a single parent raising kids. If they're getting in trouble at school, it's like the easy thing to do is it's overwhelming.
It is. It's a lot.
You need two parents. We have two parents and we're still overwhelmed with 4 kids.
I know. I don't know how single parents do it.
No clue.
I really don't.
So then the parents put them on medication because they want them to stop getting in trouble at school because...
Well, and they're looking to the leaders in that position to tell them the right thing, and the doctor and the teachers are telling them this is best.
Ugh.
They're like, of course.
I remember Bear was doing speech therapy through the school when he was younger. He couldn't talk, remember? Panish. And Tittle, he couldn't say any of his words.
And then we got to be done.
We got to be done. So then he would break, it was through the district, so he would break over the summer. So he was getting ready to go into kindergarten, and I was like, shoot, I want him to get summer speech so that he was just totally through it when we went to kindergarten. So I got this number for a speech person that came to the house, and it was you paid her. It was not through the district. It was a separate. So she came to the house. If you know Bear, he wakes up and runs first thing in the morning. The guy runs everywhere, 150%. Even this morning, I said, go run down to the end of the street and back because he was driving me nuts. He is whacked. He's just too high energy. So she came to the house and she was it was summer, so he's seeing all his siblings playing in the pool, and he's trying to sit at the kitchen table and do speech for an hour. And so it wasn't a good fit. So, and she was older. She was probably in her 60s, very grandma, just very okay, let's do this now. And it was way too much for her. So she came to me and said, yeah, I think you maybe need to have him evaluated for ADHD and put him on medication. And I was like, yeah, this will be our last meeting, but it was nice meeting you. I value your opinion, but we're gonna go ahead and not do that. And then I didn't bring her back.
Have any teachers said that since?
No.
See?
He has the best grades of all my kids. He's the helper. And I think teachers have picked up on that.
That's the best part of Bear.
You give him jobs. That is the best part of Bear.
That's the best. And if you would have tamed it, it would have ruined it. Bear's ripped because he runs everywhere. Every coach loves coaching Bear because he gives his all. He's 120%. Different.
Yeah.
God creates us all so different. I have learning disabilities. I'm fine with it. I can't spell a word, and I have the best team. They write my emails. They write my text messages. Dana saw this morning Teisha's editing a text message before I send it. But you have to learn. So in special ed, I'm so passionate about this. When you qualify for an IEP, again, I am a special ed teacher certified, so I can speak on these things. What qualifies you for a learning disability is not that you're low, it's that there's a discrepancy between the two areas. So if one area is very high and your other areas are down here, it qualifies you for special ed. It's crazy when you think about it. The discrepancy is the bridge between the two,
right.
Not below the standard.
Right.
You could have everything at the standard and have something high, but because there's a big gap in the levels of everything, that's what qualifies you. So as a special ed teacher, and I just told this in my listing appointment yesterday, which is really funny, but I said what I did as a special ed teacher was only focus on this area. I didn't worry where they were lower. A lot of times they take a kid that's lower and they try to bring him up. No. He's a genius in one area. Focus on the genius area and let that be the area that he grows. Don Wilson told us that years ago at church. He said, don't worry about your weaknesses. Focus on your strengths and you'll be unstoppable. Because we're not created to be all the same.
Or to be great at every single thing.
Like, we're good at being stupid on a podcast. That's what we're good at. It's not right. No, I'm just kidding. But that's why I do think it's important that we be ourselves. Because we are different than everybody, not just by God. So let's just be ourselves. And when we do real estate, we're different. I'm good at seeing potential in houses because I'm good at seeing potential in kids. Like, I can see potential in people, but it gets me into trouble sometimes. Because then I think everybody's the best, and then
They're like murdering people. She's like, well, they're really hurt. Yeah, they're hurt, so they're murdered that guy.
That's why I go to counseling and learn. But I wanted you to tell the speak in Spanish, and then we'll talk about how we've improved and not improved and sum it up. But Bear, so she was living with our friend Jen. And
our house was being built, and we moved out of our last house, so we had 6 weeks of a lag before our new house was ready. So we lived with my friend Jen. I feel like we talk about Jen a lot on here. That's fun.
Yeah, she loves it. She's all, thanks. Jen texted me, you were mad when my knee hurt, and I was all, sorry, Jen. I was just mad.
Which I feel like you were talking it up for the store. Well,
no, I was mad I didn't get my 10 miles in.
Yeah.
It's like when you're training, it's a thing.
So
I only got 7 in.
So we were living with Jen, and so they didn't have kids yet, and so I had 3 kids. Fox wasn't born yet, and so. You know, when you're living with someone who doesn't have kids and you have 3 crazy kids, you're like, and they're not crazy, but I just felt like they had a really nice house. It was their brand new house. They'd only lived in it maybe a year. So I was so like paranoid that they were going to act bad or ruin her house or do anything. So I was like so strict and crazy when we lived with them. I was like, okay, no, don't do this. So one night, I think Fox is coming.
Honestly, here's what I'm going to say about it. She works with Fox all the time. We're very professional at work. I don't let anyone bring a kid to a showing or a meeting. But like also, I don't think people realize it's hard to do life and work and do podcasts and do things with kids.
Yeah, Dana's working right now.
You're working.
Bring your kid
with your
to
kid
work
in. That's okay. It's okay. She works with Fox all the time. When we stage, she's with us. And like, it's like when I was doing real estate, I would close 2 doors and pretend I was in an office. Like, why aren't I proud that I can work and be with my kids? It's like we feel like we have to diminish it. Like, don't worry, I'm a professional. It's like we should change that narrative. Like, it's okay to have your kids around. You're being a good mom right now. You're being a good mom right now. You know, we might have shut them in the room and closed the door, but still, they might have went up.
I hope there's not Cheetos on your walls.
What was I saying?
Oh no. So he was being bad, and I was trying to get him in the bath, and we were in the bathroom, and it was late at night, and they were already asleep. They go to bed real early, and so it was probably like 9 o'clock at night, and so he was crying. He was overtired, and I was like, get in the bath. And like, you know when you're trying to yell at your kids and like not be loud? And so we were in the bathroom, and I was like, you get in that bath. You get in there, and you shower, and I'm doing this. And I was yelling like that, and he goes and looks at me, goes, Mom, why you speak in Spanish? Because he couldn't say his S's. And then we both just started laughing.
And you go, what? He goes, why you speaking Spanish?
Why you speaking Spanish? And I was all, and it did sound like I was speaking Spanish because I was going in the room. I was like whisper yelling really fast. I was like, I'm tired of your crap and I'm gonna beat you. You get in there. And he's all, and he not scared, clearly. I'm like, why isn't he scared of me? And I'm like, and he looks at me and goes, Mom, why are you speaking Spanish? And I was all, and we both just started crying, laughing. It was so funny. So we still talk about it.
So the things I was gonna work on was speaking up before I bust. I didn't do a great job.
Bust?
Okay, Catalingus.
Kitterina or whatever you called it. I don't know.
Bust, because I get mad and then I get raging.
Explode, yes.
Explode, and I need to like speak up. So I didn't do that great, but I did do better in that other area with my friend that we did have a talk, and I spoke up.
Good for
Sometimes
you.
I don't speak up. I just, whatever. I feel like I did better.
Great job.
Thank you. I haven't been as good with the dating, hence the fight over the cleaning lady. So I need to do better with the dating. And we talked about getting dressed up, and someone came up to me at something. She's like, you were right. I don't get dressed up anymore, and I don't have a lot of the sex. So she's like, I'm going to step it up. So I could step it up. We haven't been on a date in 2 weeks, and then we had a big fight. So
Yeah.
I'm going to step up that, and that was it. What are you working on?
I don't think I'm going to work on anything this week. I'm just kidding.
Again, some people think they're perfect. Some people are trying to improve.
That's so. No, I just don't know. It's a lot of pressure to be like, what are you going to work on? I don't know.
Yeah, Catalingus. She doesn't like that, so she might try enjoying it.
Oh my God. We need to
My
keep
friend,
it
I didn't
PG.
used to like it either. No, we don't. We don't need to do anything. Stop thinking so much.
Oh, boy.
My friend, I didn't used to like it, and then she told me to relax a little. Now I enjoy it, but Teisha doesn't. Mishies for lifeies.
I just feel like I just don't want to lay there and be like, I don't know. Let's get it going and then move on. I don't want to just lay there and be like, oh, like, I don't know.
All right.
Too much.
I think that's good for the week.
It's too much. Yeah.
I'm going to be nice. You could do something else.
What?
Wait, what you were going to work on was helping. I listened to the podcast. I don't think you did this, but you were going to work on helping around the house more, you said. Did you work on that?
was? Maybe
To help Ben not be so stressed. I was like, oh, that was nice. Yeah, so maybe work on that again.
maybe.
You might have. It was a few weeks ago. We pre-record.
I do clean the house. Like, I feel like when we say help around the house, it acts like I'm not helping. I clean.
Ben's level is
Ben's
different.
level is
and like,
different.
Just like when he gets all whacked out, maybe.
Yeah. Well, the laundry with 4 kids is overwhelming. So I feel like he would prefer it if I did laundry throughout the week instead of like us tackling it on the weekend and it being like 8,000 loads.
Tackling it. Let's be more clear. It's Ben. She doesn't do the laundry. Like, what are you saying? Who are you?
I know.
Yeah, Ben's working all day coaching sports and does the laundry and gets her coffee. Come on, Catalingus, tell the truth.
Oh my God. He does do the laundry, but. The jig is up. The jig is up. He does the laundry.
Maybe do a load to help him. It would make his day.
I know. I will do a load, but
There we go. Do a load there and
If
do
I-
a load in the bed.
if I did
Take a load.
if I took a load and did a load during the week, it'd be like, hallelujah, hallelujah.
And then let him Catalingus, you know?
Oh my God. She's so obsessed with my sex life.
I like the word. It's just funny.
I don't like that word at all.
Come on, you're picturing it.
I feel like you're really invested in my positions and the positions
I
that
am.
I'm
I'm
doing.
curious. I don't think Dana is a Mishies.
Are you Mishies, Dana?
No.
Oh, are you more crazy?
No, just it's not crazy. It's normal. Like crazy is like I picture like 50 Shades of Grey. It's not that. It's just like not Mishies all the time.
I feel like normal, quote unquote, is Mishies. And like on top. Like normal. Like
Oh, I was listening to you talk about being on top of your knees, and it was so funny.
no, they do lock up. I think it's my meniscus. It's so
If you tried Catalingus, I don't think they would lock up.
no. I'd have to have my legs straight.
All right, I think we're
No,
good.
but I want to know about Dana. Dana. So
No, Dana's Wilson. She
No.
doesn't want to be on live.
I know. I just want to know. You don't have to put this on there. So,
What? She does more than missionary. Dana doesn't want to talk about it.
So you're more adventurous.
Adventurous is not more than missionary.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Put a poll up. Would
Yeah,
you say
Dana, can you put a poll up?
vanilla is missionary and maybe a little like,
Chocolate is like more than missionary, and then
swirl.
sherbet is like
Crystal,
50
banana
Shades.
split.
I'm not banana split. I'm just not.
Crystal's like it, razzleberries.
No, I'm not.
I think we already did this one.
I am
we already
not.
said that before.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
I really
like
am not.
Vanilla, maybe a little,
No, I just think I'm not vanilla. I move around
We did
positions.
it on the couch this week. That was fun.
That's a change.
It was still
That is a
it
change
was
up.
still missionary.
So can you do a poll? Are you missionary and do you think that's vanilla? Or do you think it's normal to do more than one position?
No, we do more than one. We do.
Not in one session, hardly. And why do I know this?
I know.
Yeah, she would never do a handful.
I mean, it's a lot going on. Oh, now this, now that, now back. Like
That's
flip.
what I'm doing. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, see? Yeah. That's not, yeah.
Wow.
100%. 100, all kinds of things.
So
Yeah.
I'm boring and you guys are normal, is what you're saying.
Well,
Yeah.
we're not saying that. I want to know if our 75 to 200 listeners are doing missionary or are they getting a banana split? Trying a few different positions.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Don't let Ben see that poll. He'll be real.
No, but Ben's fine. You guys are doing great. He loves it.
With the closet, we'll do like standing. I know, I'm feeling like I have to justify my.
No, I love it. I think it's great.
Horrible.
No, I think what is good about you and I is we are very similar and very different.
Yeah. Yeah,
Totally.
we're very emotionally connected.
No, you're not. You don't even kiss him. You don't even kiss him.
No, that's sad.
You're looking in his eyes. No, you're watching sighties.
No, the looking in the eyes is a lot. I don't want looking in the eyes.
So where are you emotionally connected?
All right.
Does anyone else look in the eyes? I don't look in the eyes a ton, but I do kiss.
I'll kiss occasionally. I'm getting better with the kissing.
With the tongue?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we just kissed tongue the other day.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a big improvement. Next, she'll be doing cuddling. Okay, we better stop.
I don't feel like we should have all.
Okay, let's work on this week. Cuddlingus.
No.
Yeah. Bye.
No.
Yeah. Are you picturing it?
No, I'm done.
Muff dive?
Oh my god, a muff dive? If you're really struggling, please reach out to a qualified professional, because that's not us,
We're just here to share our journey
and to make you laugh
and cry
and pick your nose.
and touch your boobs.